there is a war raging inside you. It does not wear armor, it does not carry a sword, it does not knock at your door or ask for permission. It lives in silence, it breathes in hesitation, and it waits in the shadows of your own thoughts. This war is not outside of you, it is you. Your greatest battle will never be with your boss, your past, your critics, or even your failures. Your greatest battle is with the voice inside your head that says, you can't, you're not ready, why even try? But here's the truth they never taught you in school. That voice is not you. It's a program, a script written by fear, a chain forged by doubt. And unless you learn to master that voice, it will rule your life like a tyrant, disguised as your own logic. The world will hand you titles. It will give you labels, opinions, algorithms, excuses to be less. But you were not born to be ruled by thoughts that were never yours to begin with. You were born with dominion, not over others, but over yourself. And if you do not rise to master your mind will quietly destroy everything you were born to become. Because here's the brutal truth. Most people never think. They react. They replay the same loop every day. Wake, scroll, compare, complain, conform. They are not living. They are being lived by their own undisciplined thoughts. But you, if you are still listening, it means something in you refuses to settle. Something in you aches to wake up. Good. Because greatness does not begin with motivation. It begins with command. The day you decide to take command of your inner world is the day the outer world begins to obey. But command is not shouting affirmations into a mirror. It is a quiet defiance. It is a deep-rooted choice to not believe every fear, to not obey every feeling, to not surrender every day to the chaos of the untrained mind. Henry Ford said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." This was not a cute quote. It was a revelation, because Ford understood what few ever do. Your mind is not a mirror. It is a magnet. It doesn't reflect your life. It attracts it. So the question is not what you want. The question is, what are you tuned into? Because your mind is always listening. And every thought, every belief, every emotion becomes a seed. And you will harvest what you plant, whether consciously or unconsciously. Mastering your mind begins with this realization. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the commander, the chooser, the filter. The mind is a tool, and like fire, it can cook your meal or burn down your house. It will build empires if you train it, or sabotage your life if you ignore it. Edison used his mind to invent a future no one could see. Lincoln used his mind to hold a nation together with threadbare hope. Oprah used hers to turn trauma into transformation. So tell me, what are you using yours for? To relive pain? To rewatch failures? To rehearse insecurity like it's your anthem? That's not the fault of your circumstances. It's the symptom of a mind left unguarded. The moment you stop guarding your thoughts, they become hijacked by the loudest noise in the room. And the world is loud. It sells fear on every screen, doubt in every comment, distraction in every swipe. If you do not learn to filter the input, you will become the output of someone else's agenda. But if you begin, even quietly, to interrupt the cycle, to question the voice that says you're not enough, to say no to thoughts that drain you, you take back power. Not with force, but with awareness. Because awareness is the first key to freedom. And once you see that your thoughts are not fate, you will stop being their victim and start being their architect. Now listen carefully. The mind is not tamed in comfort. It is tamed in discipline. And discipline does not mean rigidity. Discipline means remembering what you truly want in the face of what you temporarily feel. Every time you override a lazy thought with an intentional one, you are forging the muscle of mental mastery. And like a muscle, it grows through resistance. So don't run from resistance, run toward it. That voice that says, "not today," is the very gatekeeper standing between you and the life you were meant to build. Break it, and then break the next one. And keep going until the voice inside you becomes the strongest one in the room, not because it yells, but because it no longer fears the noise outside. You are not here to live at the mercy of untrained emotions. You are here to become the master of your inner kingdom. And the throne does not wait. Most people think discipline is a punishment. That waking up early, eating clean, saying no to distractions, or choosing to work while others play is some sort of martyrdom. But discipline is not suffering. Discipline is freedom. It is the sword you sharpen in silence that cuts through the chaos of this noisy world. Without discipline, the mind is a leaf in the wind, blown in every direction by impulses, mood swings, fears, and fleeting pleasures. But with it, you become unstoppable, not because you're always inspired, but because you no longer need inspiration to act. Do you think Thomas Edison waited for a perfect morning to invent the light bulb? He failed 10,000 times. 10,000. That's not passion. That's obsession guided by clarity. It's the relentless pursuit of a vision so vivid, so burning inside his spirit that every failure was a stepping stone, not a stop sign. That's discipline, and it begins in the mind. Your mind will try to negotiate with your potential every single day. I'll start tomorrow. It's not the right time. I'm not feeling it today. What's the point? Those are not reasons. They're lies. Lies the mind tells to keep you safe. Because your mind is ancient, it evolved to protect you, not to advance you. It wants comfort, familiarity, certainty. But success is born in uncertainty. Greatness is forged in discomfort, and purpose is revealed only through persistence. The question is not whether your mind will resist you. It will. The real question is, will you obey it or override it? You cannot control every thought that enters your mind, but you can decide which ones you give power to. Just like a gardener pulls weeds to make room for growth, you must pull every thought that weakens your resolve. When you say, "I don't feel like it," you answer back, "I didn't ask." When the voice says, "You've done enough," you say, "I'm just getting started." This is the mental conversation of champions. This is what separates the average from the iconic. Because the mind, left unchecked, will always take the path of least resistance. But the mind, trained, will seek the path of maximum growth. And growth begins with vision. You must see beyond your current reality. If your mind is a compass, then your vision is the North Star. Without it, you drift. With it, you drive. Carnegie, the steel titan, was not born into wealth. He was born in a one-room cottage in Scotland. But he saw it, saw the steel, the towers, the empire. Long before a single brick was laid, he wrote the blueprint in his mind, and reality followed. Because the universe doesn't reward desire, it rewards clarity. If your goals are vague, your results will be diluted. You can't hit a target you can't see. And most people never achieve greatness because they never defined it for themselves. They chase shadows, trends, applause. But the ones who master their minds, they chase vision. They define it, obsess over it, infuse it into every thought, action, and breath until it becomes real. And the clearer your vision, the louder your discipline becomes. Not because it has to yell, but because now it has a reason to rise. You don't get pulled out of bed at 5 a.m. by motivation. You launch out of bed with fire when the image of who you're becoming is so real, it's no longer a dream, it's a destiny. But don't just imagine the goal, feel it. What will it taste like when your family no longer struggles? What will it smell like when you open the doors to your own business? What will it sound like when the world finally hears your voice, your art, your legacy? Let it move through you like thunder. Let it become your obsession. And then reverse engineer it. Ask, What do I need to think like today to be that person? What must I stop tolerating in my inner world? What beliefs must die so that my destiny can be born? That's the work most will never do. They'll search for hacks, shortcuts, tricks. But the master of the mind knows there is no shortcut to self-command. It is built through ritual, forged through repetition, hardened through trial, and awakened through fire. So light the fire. Don't wait for the world to crown you ready. You were ready the moment you were born with a mind capable of choosing your future. Most don't choose. They inherit a mindset, never question it, and call it fate. But fate is the excuse of the mentally passive. Destiny is the crown of the mentally disciplined. And your mind, right now, is deciding who you will become. Not tomorrow, now.